So, and how I was telling to you, I plan to start with right away to finish our habit number 4. And then we are free to talk and discuss what we want. Sounds like a deal? Great. So, and if you remember what we were talking about, I want to make a very brief review because the whole week passed and we can forget something, but brief review is always very helpful. So you remember Mr. Covey asked this very intriguing question, what is the reward for not copywriting? And we were talking about this president who was trying to get the fruits of cooperation from the paradigm of competition. And when it didn't work, he asked Mr. Covey, please help me, give me a quick fix antidote to fix it. But this doesn't work. And now we know the answer on that question, what is the reward for not copywriting? A trip to Bermuda. Wonderful reward. I actually would be in the team as well. So we were talking about 6 paradigms of human interaction. And this is not a technique, Mr. Covey said. It's a total philosophy of human interaction. And we were talking all of them one by one. So we remember that win-win is a mutual benefit, agreement, solution, mutual satisfaction, but not all people think that way. Most people tend to think in terms of differences, right? Strong, weak, smart, not smart, win, lose. The next paradigm, win-lose. And you also remember that it's a in leadership style, it's authoritative approach. It's the power. It's who is stronger, who is wiser. So if I'm wiser, you need to lose. Most people will scripted since birth when one child is loved more than the other, and the other child thought that the value does not lie inside of him, it lies outside. We were talking about intrinsic values. Do you remember? And the intrinsic values, what I wanted we would remember that everybody is different. I'm sure I don't tell you anything new, but maybe we will remember when we by habit will continue to divide people on why on smart and not smart. He can be smart in or I can be smart in something, but the other person can be smart in something else. Just very nice to remember that. Another powerful programming, we are still in the second paradigm, I say, win-lose. So it's athletic program when our teams are programmed. If I win, somebody should lose. And I actually remember we didn't have time to come back to question which Richard asked. Richard, please correct me if I'm wrong. I remember you said that who lost, they can make their character stronger and they work toward winning, right? Is it what you were comment?
Yeah, the comment was generally losing can be a motivational force.
Okay, yes, so great, thank you. And I want to answer, and if somebody else want to add, please do it. This is working from yourself to yourself. See, person lost, right? And then he took a motivation and he becomes stronger. It's from person to person. But guys, we are talking right now about interdependent level. Do you see what's the difference? We are right now talking about how to communicate with people. We are not on the level of yourself. And we need already to start to move toward thinking about other people. And this is all paradigm, win-win. It's not about yourself. I win, or my weak part will win. Then my strong part will lose. No, it's not about one person. It's already about many other people. And then, Patrick, I remember you were offering also a great example about the SWOT analysis, right? About it, like strategic planning. And also, while this SWOT can be applied to organization, however, it's applied as a one, how to say, like one organization. It's like a one person. And you were talking about also one person. You talk about yourself. This is the same paradigm. So a great example, nothing wrong, nothing you said, and Richard, and you said right. But guys, it's still paradigm of yourself. We need to start to move forward. Otherwise, we will come back. And we will start again habit number 1, 2, and 3. Habit number 1, 2, and 3, this is exactly what you were talking. Now we are at habit number 4, and our paradigm is interaction with other people. Another not good thing, it's court, it's litigation, and we know that it's neither cooperative, neither creative, nor cooperative. And usually it's enemy-centered. Then we talk about that most of our life is interdependent. I really think it's very important, guys. It's even see, we are still thinking about ourselves. We are still, if we think about our close one, we also think only how to make that she would be happy. Yes, we need to understand that now we are getting skills of interdependent relationship. So next is lose-win, and the lose-win is worse than win-lose because it has no standards, no demands, and we were talking about psychological correlation, right? And we figure out that the lowest state, it's depressed. Don't know, actually, I think somebody asked me what is the below. Below is death, guys. It's so already, that's it, depression and death. So, and the higher, it's angry, but of course not be angry at somebody else, be angry at yourself, and that you brought yourself in this situation. And see, it's already if you're depressed, you don't have any standards, no demands, you're depressed, or you're sad, or you're upset. You are really, you lost. But if you are angry, I can do it. Yes, how could I make myself in this situation? See, it's like already like some life has appeared. So start to be angry and don't go into that. So however, and Mr. Covey said that win-lose and lose-win situation are both a weak situation. Also, well, this is very important. I would like to ask you to remember this for our future conversation, because we can miss it and forget about it, but I will offer you one situation when it would be really visible, so that they are buried, lose-win people bury a lot of feelings, and they sometimes can come in an ugly way, or they can be mean, they can be even aggressive, even lose-win people. Yes, see what they're saying, I'm peacemaker, I do everything to keep peace. No, it's outside, but the reality is inside. And we need to understand that and actually start to look at people and start to learn people with our knowledge. How to keep us all the time interested to practice the practice. If we, what we are studying, if we will do only for ourselves, we will be bored soon. But start to practice and look at people. We already so much, we know so much, we can do that. The next paradigm is lose-lose. What I want to say that this is two people win-lose when they get together. So win-lose, win-lose. And when they get together, both stubborn and ego-invested individuals, or even good people, but they have a paradigm win-lose. If I win, you need to lose, and they meet together. The situation will be lose-lose. This is very interesting point to understand it. It's not that the situation, two weak people, two depressed people meet, okay, I will lose, and no, I will lose, no, I will lose. No, practically you cannot find this. It's win-lose, two people, win-lose met. It will be situation lose-lose. This is why it's saying that litigation never is cooperative or creative. From win-lose to people will be lose-lose situation. And I think it's the fifth, as I remember, win. So those people not necessarily want somebody to lose. They just don't care. They take care of themselves and they want that the other people will take care of themselves. So I think it's a pure independent level. I'm independent. I take care of myself. You take care of yourself. And this is why Mr. Covey said that it's the middle level. And the highest level is interdependent relationship. And before he said that most of our reality is interdependent, right? Not independent reality. So guys, see, we quickly reviewed, and I hope you refresh your knowledge. So we went a little bit through 5 dimensions of our paradigm, and the paradigm of win-win. This is 5 dimensions of win-win paradise. So right now we are studying pure win-win because this is the king of all paradigms of our relationship. So, and everything what we learned, we supposed to practice, like self-awareness, imagination, consciousness, independence, right? We are practicing that practically every day, right? Guys, without this, we won't be successful in interdependent relationship. So what we need to do, we need to constantly to come back what we studied. It doesn't mean that we studied it, we did it, close the page and move ahead. This is not that kind of book. This book which we need to practice constantly. Don't know why I'm telling you that. But for example, let's start with character. Character is the foundation of win-win. So what does it mean to have a character? And we learn so much, as anybody can say, not necessarily what we learn, preferably, but you can say anything, because not anything, from your own experience. We are not like from the kindergarten, right? But please try to remember something from what we studied. So what does it mean to have a character? Because guys, I repeat again, it's foundation. And you know, if we don't have foundation, what kind of building we will build? I repeat, what does it mean to have a character? Richard, please.
Well, it's I guess it starts from the inside. What is the character ethic and the personality ethic? Character ethic has many of these qualities, meaning that you start from inside yourself, as opposed to what other people see externally.
Okay, good answer. Patrick, please.
Yeah, sorry, my mic wasn't working before. So to me, yeah, character is basically, you know, you talk about kindergarten, right? It's basically what we all learn, right? It's like, you know, do what we say we're gonna do, right? And that's and the game, to me, right, the process there is to earn trust, right? It goes back to the emotional bank account thing, right? So character is something that it's a quality that, you know, that we either are consciously building or we're not. So that's something that, I mean, it's hard to explain in word. This is a problem with language. It's hard to, especially dealing with things that are very immaterial, right? It's something that you need to do to say, okay, you know what? Patrick is doing something that I like. I'm going to trust him to do this consistently because he has shown that. So to me, that's character, especially something that's ethical.
I like your answer. Let me answer some. Let me tell you why I'm stressing out on it. First, Brian, please, and I will continue.
I was going to say it's sort of like maybe it's like the scaffolding upon which your persona or your everything about you sort of built. You know, it's if you imagine like the walls or sort of the outside appearance to be, you know, how you appear to the outside world or whatever. Character is sort of like the thing that sort of puts it together, that sort of holds it up.
Okay, okay. Another point of view, wonderful. So let me explain you why I'm stressing out on it. Even I think that the foundation is the base, right? I don't want to remind you about that building which I'm offering all the time. Even it's important. I want to offer you one example. So you know, I told you that I was doing my homework. I was making from lose-lose situation to win-win. Guys, I cannot tell you how much I learned. And I like lived the whole chapter of my life. It was kind of new chapter. It was like I was taking from my life and I was learning at the speed of 3. I learned so much and so more about people who were around me that, of course, I would learn that, but probably it would took me maybe three months, maybe more, and I learned it for 3 days. And what I did, I will just tell you the finish because I prepared a little presentation for my situation. I absolutely think it's remarkable. But this is a little bit out. So when I did win-win situation, I actually did it, and I told you I wanted to go further, and I wanted to create a synergy. Synergy we will study in habit number 6. It's actually above. And when I offered to that organizer of that group, and this is a very pointed example because it's my group where we were studying 7 habits, and they influenced me. I started this group, but they are going very slowly because they are going every other week, and they are just finishing, and they passed already a synergy chapter. And I wanted to make synergy with, and I was talking with organizer. I thought, okay, we did with her win-win. Let's do synergy. It would be a great example to show people what does it mean, because we pretty messed up. And I didn't feel that she kind of had the same excitement like me. I couldn't understand, and I really think why no, I couldn't explain, and I decided to go anyway in the meeting and just play by the ear how it will happen and be flexible. And you know, guys, when I came there and like listened a little bit, and I understood that they have no idea what they are talking about. They have no idea about what is synergy. They read it. They were talking. They were talking about win-win, they were talking about some other things, but it was so far away from the reality. It was far away from practice. I can tell right away when I've heard that I didn't believe no one of their words because they didn't have any foundation of practice, none. It was just, bunch of smart sentences which they studied in a book, and they tried to push it that people would believe in it, but it was empty. And why I'm talking about it, I don't want that it happened to us. I was sad. And when actually I didn't tell them, I was preparing that I started my group for the last meeting. And anyway, they cannot join our group. They are not very good with English. It's Russian community. And when I said that I started group and it was a couple new people, and when they started to explain them what is 7 habits, it was like this, oh, do you remember what that habit, which is the name of that habit? It's always start from beginning or the end. I even didn't remember from where to start, habit number 2. And I listened to them and I said, can I say? So to make my story short, I told everything. It was like take half an hour. I hope I influenced those people. They were really, really, really happy to hear everything. I described all 7 habits and how influential book is there. And do you know what I've seen? They were congratulated me, including the organizer of that group and the other 2 helpers, but they were sad. And they were sad, do you know why? Because they spent half of a year on meetings to study this book, and they ended up with nothing. And do you know why? Only one mistake, one single mistake, they were reading it. And they didn't practice. And it's why? Can we say that they're bad? Can we say that they are not smart? Of course not. They were just following what they did before. Like I read probably thousands of books in my life. I read. Yes, I got some, but some. So if we won't practice, we will lose our time. We get something, but how much we can get, let's use the situation. And then also I can tell you that it's impossible to do it by yourself. Use the situation while we are together, while we are pushing each other. As soon as we will stop, everything is going how it was before and we stop. But if we will get we sit on the train and we take the speed, it will go. We will just need to help a little bit, not help, just a little bit to remind ourselves, and that's it. So guys, I want to live this book, and I want that you would live this book. And you already started to sense. So when I told everything about this book, one guy is saying, "Wow, so wonderful! I will." And the organizer is saying, "Yes, read this book." And I said, "No. This is not a book for reading. You need to practice it." I catch right away that this is not for reading, this is for practice, this is practical book. So please, guys, I really wanted to share with you. They were sad. I don't want that we all together would feel absolutely the same. And how probably you've heard, when we will finish this, I will start again. But don't hope on that. The better if you will practice yourself. But if you will want to come back, please welcome. Okay, so and again, so what does mean character? I prepared for you a little surprise. Do you remember this slide? paradigm and principles. It's from our very first meeting. And let's read this. First point and first step. Guys, first point and first step. We must understand that our vision of the world is entirely determined by our previous experience. The first step, the ability to admit that we understand that our understanding is not the most perfect. Where in the world we was doing that? For example, I'm in disagree with something, I offended at somebody, or I'm in fight with somebody and I'm sitting in Paulina, you need to understand that you are not, your opinion is not perfect. And your vision is based on your previous. Where in the world I could do think that? Of course, I'm thinking he's wrong and I'm right? But we need to change it. We need to start to think with this. We need to start inside out approach. And this is the practice. Why I come back there? Because I have nothing to do, because I have nothing to say from Mr. Covey. It's not my message, I'm a messenger. Of course I have, but this is important. It's what I've seen to know. And guys, what I see, we still trying to solve our problems with the same methods which we are using for decades. Because we think that someday it will come and it will change. No, it won't come and it won't change. What does it mean? What Einstein mean when he said that so we cannot solve the problem in the same level of thinking? When we created this problem, what he wants to say to us? Can you explain to me?
Not to be like a cliche, but we have to change our paradigm. We have to change our belief system and how we were thinking at the time that we created our problem.
So what can we change? What a person doesn't
Our
know,
attitude,
for example.
our attitude, our outlook on
So
things.
to where should I change? What explain? What, for example, I don't understand.
With ourselves, change ourselves. We need to start within, with our own self, you know.
Okay.
Our thinking
Okay.
and.
Thank you, Sean. Patrick, good answer.
Thank you.
Well, yeah, I mean, the significant problem that we face, right, is the problem that we create is based upon what we see as what is right, right? It's a microcosm. It's a little world that what we see is right, but in reality, what we see as right might not be right in the bigger reality.
Okay. Yes, very good. Agent Patrick, please. Oi, Patrick, Richard.
Just a simple statement from my thinking is that just put yourself in the other person's shoes is one way of saying it, but basically trying to listen and understand the other person's perspective.
Okay, good point. Maria, welcome. We didn't see you for so long. I'm so happy to see you.
I know. It was a long hiatus, but I'm glad to be back.
We are very happy.
Thank you. So I'm loving this description that you're giving about paradigm and principles, and of course it attaches to the question that you just made. The significant problem we face cannot be solved at the same level of thinking we are at when we created them, which is absolutely realistic and factual, in my opinion. As we tend to evolve, as we tend to learn every day, as we tend to experience new things every day, and our belief system and value system is affected by our experiences. So because of that, our vision may continue to change based on, those previous experiences that we had. So of course, we can't solve the problem at the level that we were at when we created them because of that,
Beautiful,
of the new
Eddie. Yes,
experiences.
thank you so much. Brian,
I'm actually unmuted. I was gonna say that it's using it's like oh God, I wish I had an analogy for this. I can't think of one offhand, but it's like it would be kind of like the idea of like knowing that you're thirsty, and knowing that you're thirsty, and suppose like where a river is, but you get to the river, but you realize you have no idea how to actually drink.
Mm.
It's like I mean
Okay,
the
okay.
way you were thinking beforehand or whatever got you to sort of a roadblock, and if you keep thinking the same way, well, you can't expect to get over the roadblock if you're constantly saying, okay, I got to go down this road. It's like, I got to go this way, and there's a roadblock right in front of me. It says the road's closed. So I'm like, that's the way I have to go. I have to go that way, but the road's closed. And it's not until you look around and say, okay, well, maybe I have to take another route around it or something, that you
Okay.
can actually solve the problem.
Okay, okay.
You're thinking, if you keep thinking one way, you're not going to change your
Okay, Brian, thank you so much. All answers was great. Maria.
We always say that in hindsight, I could have done this, because in hindsight, you already had that experience that will help you determine what the best approach it is to solve a problem. So as Patrick was saying, it's like, if things have not worked, I don't know, maybe that's the way I interpret what he was saying. There are roadblocks, of course. Life always puts roadblocks on you, always. But you cannot handle those roadblocks the same way that you handle the roadblock from yesterday. It might not be the same. So take a detour, do something different, Of course, you have to have the knowledge for that,
Yes, yes, what this I was, thank you, Maria, I was looking for. Guys, while all your answers are absolutely fantastic, we cannot solve our problems based on our experience. It's not enough. It's exactly our experience brought us to the problem. And I can guarantee you, the more you live, not necessarily you become wiser. If you just think, I'm living, I'm connecting to people, and I'm getting wiser, I want to disappoint you. We need to learn something, because we are stepping on the same, we are habitual creatures. We are doing the same and the same and the same. So if you have a problem, you need to know that you create this problem with your experience, and you need to get wiser. How you can get wiser? Not again from your experience. Why we are here? We are here to get wiser. We are here to get knowledge. So use the 7 habits. We already in the middle. We already connoisseurs of personal victory. Yes, Maria.
I was reading the 15 most valuable laws of, I can't remember the whole title, of laws or something like that. I cannot remember the whole title, but the thing is that when you mentioned that experience alone is not enough, it reminded me that in the book, it also says that experience is not enough, but the assessment that we make of the experience, that's what helps us better.
Okay, thank you for adding. And I think for right now, we will move forward. Thank you again, all Edin, and thank you, Maria. Very thoughtful comments. So I would like to offer you a little exercise. Let's come back to our coffee. So you remember that, right? Anytime we think the problem is out there, that very thought is the problem. Oh, how I love it. I think we can print it and put in our wallet and put in our purses, and I will tell you why. This we can play. So I put this highlighted out there. Let's substitute out there for any problem. For example, I have a problem with my husband, and of course, I think that he's wrong. So, and I'm doing this. Anytime we think, anytime Lena thinks the problem is her husband, that very thought is the problem. Then we can put here anything. How's about, for example, men or women or those women? Anytime we think that the problem is those women, that very thought is the problem. Anytime we think that the problem is government, that very thought is the problem. Anytime we think that the problem is our neighbor, that very thought is the problem. I love it. And we even can say anytime we think that the problem is in someone who is influencing someone and that influence someone affecting me, do you see the intricacies of our mind? That very thought is the problem. So I found this exercise is very useful for me. I hope maybe for you as well. Yes, Richard, please.
Yes, absolutely. That's the 3 levels of maturity is when you're independent level, you think that everything else is the solution to, or everybody else is the solution to your problem.
Yes, guys, thank you, Richard. Good adding, but be careful. If we think that we don't have that problem, that very thought is the problem, because it's very difficult to see for yourself. It's very difficult. So if we have a problem, what this indicator, if I have a problem, I created that problem. I created that problem, and I need to solve this problem through changing my behavior. Not changing that person, changing my behavior. Yes, Patrick.
So I have a question. So how should we, you know, reframe, right, this thought in such a way that, you know, that is aligned with the 7 habits? And for whatever reason, I'm thinking about cause and effect, right? We are the cause, right? We are the programmer, we are the creator, right? So how do we, you know, reprogram our thinking in such a way that, you know, oh, the problem is not out there, the problem is what? So I'm just trying to, you know, thinking out loud here.
Yes, absolutely. And what I can offer example, for example, we all, oh, Richard, please. Okay, then I will continue, and Brian next. Go ahead, Richard.
Okay, thank you. My thought to Patrick's question is, I would ask the question, what did I do to make this person feel that way?
Okay, we were waiting for action, but you meant the first initial thought. Okay, good. Brian.
Well, first off, I should say, Patrick, it's a great question because I think that it's something that you know, that I know personally I kind of deal with a lot. I kind of like what Richard said, you know, kind of you know, his point about you know, trying to decide what you did, I guess, but I almost think that you could add to that, trying to figure out, like, you know, try to think about like what's like, how would I put this? Like what's bothering you about it, or sort of I'm sorry, I can't think of exactly the way to put it, but You know, like if you're angry about something, or if somebody does something that you're angry about, you know, it's maybe start asking yourself, what is making me angry? You know, why am I angry about this? And to sort of start analyzing sort of your own reaction to it and try to learn from that, I guess. I know
Okay.
I've been trying to do that with kind of, you know, and I think there's other things you could point to with that too, but, you know, like, instead of, if something's making you angry, instead of looking at it like somebody is making me angry, what, you know, asking yourself, like, why am I angry about it? Or what is bothering me about this situation? And
Okay,
sort of
Brian.
start analyzing it from the internal point of view.
Thank you, Maria.
Hi, sorry, my microphone. I made a little bit of a clarification on this out there term. I haven't read the book, I'm sorry. So anytime we think the problem is out there, is it the way I think? I may be incorrect, but that's why I need you guys to clarify. Meaning that everybody else is the reason why and not you. It's external factor. It's nothing internal. Like me as the person will not take accountability that I have anything to do with what's going on with me. Is that
If I
the
correct you on
interpretation, or what is it?
it's a little bit, Maria, I can't say, but if I will start, it will be very long explanation. So basically, I would, what we are studying, Mr. Covey approach is saying that everything what around us, it's we created. So if relationship, for example, if we have not good relationship, it's we created. If a person to not nice to us, I mean, it's something more close relationship, not some stranger who was rude for us. We don't connect to him. It's basically what relationship we created with our close one and what relationship we created with our friends. It's we did. So this is called inside-out approach. And did I answer the question?
If I'm honest, no.
Okay, then.
But I'm trying to, because I haven't read the book, and that's my fault.
So
but
it's okay.
Is the term out there, like, what is Covey trying to say?
Yes, Maria, I'm sorry. I cannot right now to
okay, no problem.
Start from the beginning and explain. So basically,
don't worry, it's okay.
Inside
what I put in the chat
was
perhaps maybe what you like, the law of attraction, to sum it up really quick, Maria. What we think about, we bring about. I think that's what she said. So if you think there's a problem, all of a sudden you get a problem back. She used the example of her husband. If she thinks her husband's a problem, next thing you know, she has problems with her husband.
Okay.
Sean,
so
while I agree with you on the beginner level, Mr. Covey is acting approach. It's not the thinking approach. Yes, law of attraction is saying it's a more Buddha approach. We are who we think. But Mr. Covey chose Aristotle, and Aristotle said we are what we do. And he following that. And so let me continue. And a little bit try to answer on Patrick's question. So yes, really the question is great. And what I hear, the answer, guys, you are right, but this is the beginner level. I mean, not you are a beginner level. This is the first step. This is the right word. So where is the acting? Okay, we thought, where is acting? We are in a practical book. we are in a book of Mr. Covey, and he said acting. So, but without that initial step, what you said, we cannot move. So you are completely right. Okay, let's do things. The most easy example, of course, our children, right? So let's do thing like this. We love our children, and we indulge them for their lives, right? And then we studied 7 habits, and we decided to change. And I can tell you it's possible. It's completely possible. Of course, we just don't need to. I'll actually show you. So we are the creator. Maria, this is, I am the creator of my own reality. Where I'm living, what I'm wearing, what kind of friends I have, what kind of job I have, what kind of husband I have, what are my children. I am creator. I created everything. I think this would be the full answer which I could give with Mr. Covey. What these guys, we need to remember that if the whole life we were indulging our children, we cannot, this is just general example. This is not for everyone particular, okay? It's just the easiest example. We cannot change it overnight. It's a duration, continuity, and consciousness. So, but okay, we thought what the situation? For example, we see the situation is not, we ask something and a child didn't do. Oh, let's do this. And we ask and the child, so next step, we need to act. We need, do not, what can we, for example, do? So we need to change, not to give him a lecture. Of course, we can explain to him, but I want to know, it's very difficult because it needs an exact example. Right now, it's difficult to create, but for example, we ask something and the child didn't do, and they even show us his character. So we don't need to allow to him to do something then. What, for example, maybe he likes to do. If a child is small, if, for example, a child is grown up and showed his character, and, for example, thrown away and left, we don't need to call to the child and say, hey, let's talk. No, if the child showed that his character, he needs to come and say and talk with you. Because all your life you indulged it, all your life you were chasing that child. Now you don't need, and do not, first it will be very difficult because you will worry, what is the child doing? But don't know, if the child shows his character, he needs to come and talk to you. And you need, after that, don't scold him. I just explained, my dear, this doesn't work for me. You need to respect me. Please don't do this again. If you will do this again, it would be, no, maybe that's enough. So, and child will see that you changed. Don't know. Yes, Patrick.
So I'm gonna basically reinterpret what you say. And full disclosure, I do have a 13-year-old, so I battle this every day. So the whole notion of duration, continuity, and consciousness in my world, right, is basically building the environment, right, the microcosm of him to basically live, behave and be conscious of the habit that he should have, right? So I actually made up a board for him, that he looks at every day and say like, oh, basically, it's basically social skills, right? It's, personal integrity, and it's also the idea of like growth, right? What you need to grow and what you need to let go. So that is the continuity. The duration is like, hey, just read the board every day. I don't, before you do anything else, right, you read that board. So that's the duration. And the consciousness really the environment. And and it's not just for a kid, right? You know, it's for people you're with, right? It's for your employees, it's for your employer, it's for your community, right? So obviously you don't do it like you build a billboard, but you do it through modeling, right? You basically do what you do. It goes back to what you say about character, you know, the fact that you walk the talk, right? It demonstrates that integrity. And that basically builds upon, and some people might buy it. Some people will say, you know, this guy is a loony, or some people say, you know, how do I take advantage of him? So in my opinion, right, I'm willing to take those risks, right, to be taking advantage of and stuff like that, so that I can basically do good in the world, right? It's not just me, but
Okay.
basically demonstrating it.
Okay, so and you get me another thought that we basically need to stay with our principles. Do you know, I know sometimes what grown-up adults are doing, they are very principled to their spouses, but they are very lenient to children. And this is a very big problem, guys. So if you are, so where you're lenient, where you're bending your principles, and there will be problem. And problem not only for you, problem for a child, because a child will think, oh, it's okay, I understand, I'm special. So the father who is, or the mother who is so strong and with themselves, but with me, they're so great. Yeah, I deserve it. So we are actually making a bet to our children who love small children, who is strong and who is preparing children for the world, or who is indulging them the whole life, and then children come to world and they're lost. So just keep what right now, just even from today, start, do not bother with example which I gave. Even I think it's correct still. Do not bother with that example. Just stay with your principle. Doesn't matter who is that. Is it your wife? Is it your husband? Is it your friend? Is it your child? Doesn't matter. Just stay with your principle, and you don't need to be rude. For some case, I hear that all the time. Oh, now I need to be very strict and push. I need to be demanding. No, Mr. Covey is saying it's you need to be strong and kind at the same moment. And this is the art, and we can do it. Yes, Brian.
I kind of forgot what I was going to say.
Sorry, it was very
a
heated
while
discussion.
ago. But I was sort of thinking about, you know, Patrick's question, and I kind of blanked it out now. But basically, what I was sort of thinking is that, you know, it's staying within your circle of influence. You know, trying to focus on what you can do. You know, and what the situation is and what you can do instead to sort of change what you do rather than what others do to you, if you will, or what upsets you or whatever. Anyhow, I'm probably way behind the line here.
It's fine, Brian. You are with us.
I also wanted to say, Maria, your mic is on, by the way. I just wanted to mention that. Well, your mic is on. I just wanted to let you know that your mic is on. So whatever you say or whatever, we can all hear you.
Something?
Not really, but we can all hear you. Just wanted to tell you.
We can hear you breathing.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm in my
Just
car.
wanted to let you know.
That one.
Thank you. Thank you, Brian.
Thank you.
Okay, guys, and we are almost finishing, but I found this very important as well. And I want to ask you, can you really and honestly answer, did you work on our centeredness? Did you fix if you are spouse-centered? Did you fix if you are child-centered? Did you really fix it, or you just forget about it and you try to go your way how you was going? How's about money-centeredness, possessions, pleasure-centeredness? How's about enemy-centeredness? Guys, do you know why I'm reminding you? Because if we have wrong center, we will incline from the right direction. Do you understand how it's important? Yes, we can be effective, we can be proactive, we can be hardworking, we can be whatever. We can work 24/7, straightforwardly going to the wrong direction. It's called congratulations. The dream of, okay, I don't need to say that. The last thing you remember, so the self-centeredness is also is not a best idea. And finally, we are done. I hope you understood why I stop on it and make a quick review. So character, we talked already about integrity, maturity. Maturity is the balance between courage and consideration. Abundance mentality, we talk also about it, that it's plenty out for everyone. And we don't need to be like people with a scarcity mentality, right? When they cannot be happy for someone else. And you know what the thought came into my mind? Guys, it's not, Mr. Covey saying, not only for friends or co-workers, it's actually even for the members of their own family and close friends. Can you imagine? We are in one family and we are not happy for us. For member of family, it's actually jealousy, also based on scarcity. If, for example, a new child appear in a family, do you know how many situations when the child they don't like the new baby? Because what? Because he's jealous, because he thinks that it would be not enough love of my parents for me. How's about if, for example, new woman or new man is coming into the life? It's also child now can think that now mother or father will be will love me less, will resource me less, will take care of me less. So jealousy is going also from scarcity. And it's also very important to have a right position in our family. Just the very indicator, we all have responsibilities. We need to remember that the children also have responsibilities, right? It doesn't mean that their children, they don't have responsibilities. No, they need to have responsibilities, take care of their room, take care of their things when they're children, and when they're grown up, they need also to take responsibility. And if we are taking too much responsibilities, we actually taking their responsibilities and doing them for them. Do you think they will say, thank you, daddy, thank you, mommy? No, they will think that they deserve it. And they will be surprised when suddenly we don't do it. They will say, where is my stuff? I deserve it. I had it all my life. I prepared one very interesting example when one woman was unfortunately killed in a car accident, and she was 70 years old, and her children came to the court. And do you know what they said? Oh, we are so sad because our mom was so strong. She would still help us. And that woman was 70 years old, and they wanted money. Can you imagine, guys? That's sad. I really don't want that we would be in this situation. So, Mr. Covey, let's come back again. Not come back. We are in 5 dimensions, and we are at the foundation of 5 dimensions win-win paradigm. We are at character, and Mr. Covey suggested us to watch movies, and this actually he suggested to read books. And I know that you are not some of them, not a big fan of them, but guys, I really want to influence you. Books, self-help books, the best. And see, I'm very happy to see our book here. Guys, you know how much we are taking from 7 Habits, right? Can you imagine that the other books not less worse than 7 Habits? Can you imagine how much we can get from it? I read this book, wonderful. Do you know what? If this book on Goodreads, it's American social catalyzing website. It's rated 4.17. It's a very strict website. It's very good point, and it's 300,000 reviews. Do you know that with this book, 2 million reviews? Can you imagine? This is on my list. I will read it as soon as possible. I don't know what is there. This is the same like 7 Habits, 200,000 positive reviews. This is Rich Dad, Poor Dad. This is also equal 7 Habits. This I didn't read. This is a very high review. This is Mr. Covey suggested. You remember Viktor Frankl, who was in a concentrated camp. These guys, 600,000 reviews. It's twice higher than highly effective people. This is again, for example, this book, Eckhart Tolle, The Power of Now. I started to read it, and I might even. It's so important. I will talk it later. That maybe we will start to talk about it. Maybe I will start another meetup. So it's very nice to read for women separately, guys. Some of books like 7 Habits we can do together, but it's really important to do separately. What, for example, these two books, this is exactly a guide. It's Fascinating Womanhood. It's translated and sold millions of copies. And this is her husband. They wrote fascinating books about how to be a man of steel and velvet. And this is how to be a woman. This is all wonderful books for men. Definitely, I didn't read this. This is 600 reviews. Can't hurt me. This is a military. I really not interested about this book. This I read Tony Robbins. Fantastic book, guys. This is also very high review, but I'm not sure that I want to read this. People write that it's a lot of this kind of words, but basically don't know what he's saying. He's saying that our society is too kind. We are too polite, and that is bringing a lot of confusion. And don't know, he's right. I'll tell you one story of my girlfriend was driving to meet her boyfriend, and she said, "I'm meeting to you." And he said, "Okay, thank you. It's up to you. Very nice to you." And when she came to him, she said, "I was very upset that you came." Oh my God, do you know, could you say, "No, dear, don't come"? But he was very polite, and he answered even, "Thank you, it's up to you," but in the way he was unhappy. Is it really the right way to communicate? Do you see, guys, it's make confusion. Our too much politeness is making confusion. We sometimes need, not sometimes, we always need to nice and politely. "No, dear, don't come. I will come to you." That's it, right? So, and this is Dalai Lama, this is Wayne Dyer, fantastic. This is Deepak Chopra. I read maybe not all of them, but 40% of this book I read. Fascinating book, guys. I really would suggest to you to do that. And finally, we are at number 2 at relationship, and the relationship is the essence of win-win. We simply cannot go without trust, right? So this is about our emotional bank account, and if our emotional bank account is high, we are finally can concentrate on the problems, not on the personality, right? Because if we don't have trust, that we are thinking, what he's thinking, what she's thinking, how did they lie, or how's if we are centered on that person, we are looking at her mood, how she's reacting. So, and when we trust, we put our cards on the table, and we know that even if our conversation is different, we still can listen and respect each other. Right. So, and what to do if, for example, we are somebody else with whom we are talking deeply scripted in win-lose mentality? Patrick, just 1 minute. I really want to Mr. Covey that answer. Because do know it's a very serious question. My question is this: what to do if we are having a deal with a person and he is deeply scripted in the win-lose mentality? We want win-win mentality. And I'm answering by what Mr. Covey said. When we are dealing with that person who is coming from win-lose mentality, the relationship still the key. And how Brian said, circle of influence. So what we are doing the deposit and emotional bank account through courtesy, respect, appreciation for that person, that person has a different point of view. You stay longer in the communication process. You listen more, you listen deeper. You express yourself with deeper courage. You aren't reactive. You go deep inside for your strengths of your character to be proactive. You keep hammering until the other person begin to realize that you generally want a resolution. You generally want to understand him. This will be a tremendous deposit into your together bank account. And this is like a check how strong you are. But guys, we need to be careful. Not be careful, we need to understand that with not everyone we can do that. We talk about if person is completely independent level, or if completely that person is your enemy, that he cannot even think about something else. We need to see with whom we are dealing, right? We cannot go straight with your chest open and believe that everybody can understand. And of course, also remember that sometimes no deal is an option, and compromise is an option. Right now, please remember that we are talking a win-win paradigm. So, sorry, Patrick, Brian, you want to say something? This is okay. We can move. Okay, I just wanted
Patrick wanted to say
finish.
something.
Patrick
Patrick wanted to say something.
Brian. And the third, so you remember, this is foundation, this is essence, and the agreement is provide the structure. So this is the direction to win-win. They create an effective way to clarify and manage expectations between people. It's identify where it will be done. It's very important, guys, because do you know what I hear every time when even do know, let's go just the relationship. At work, it's tremendously important, but at work, at least the manager and supervisors will do it for us, right? What to do in a relationship? This is the advice for women. My dear, I want that what they say can be fixed. Yes, my dear, I will do it. And it can happen, never will be fixed. What a smart woman will say, okay, my dear, that's wonderful, when? And let your man to tell when he can do it and when he will tell you, and the answer like soon or someday or as soon as I will free doesn't work. When you will be free, even if he will say, for example, week, it's worse to wait, but you know that in a week you can come to him and say, and men are very detailed people, they're logical people, they will do that. If a man said that I will do it in a week, he will do it. What, and this is agreement, which we are looking for results and we are looking for structure. I will say very quickly, Mr. Covey offered a great example with his daughter when she turned 16, that she can use a family car. So they agreed and they made a win-win agreement. So what does mean win-win agreement? That a girl should obey the law of land, that she would keep the car clean and properly maintained, that she would agree to be a cab driver for her mother and me within reason. And the other job should be done without reminding. See, everybody has responsibility. And of course, Mr. Covey and his wife, they provided some resources like car, gas, and insurance. And on weekly basis, they evaluated. So this is agreement. It's not that, okay, we agreed and do whatever you want. We believe you. No, every week they sit and evaluate. It's so great example. I really cannot miss it. Another great example, the president said that the problem with their people, he said that they just don't know, they just don't care about anything, and they just don't understand the customer, what to do. And Mr. Kobe said, what caused the attitude? And the president said that we have department heads, and they setting a great example. So we told to department heads that 2/3 selling they will have paid, and 1/3 of management. And those managers outselling everyone. So, and president said, go and they teach sales people only. But those explanation, 2/3 and 1/3 was raised a red flag. And Mr. Kobe insisted to get some data and uncover the real problem. Dirty jobs, inventory control, stock work, cleaning, and slow selling hours were given to salespeople. And the manager would stand in a good hours behind the counter and cream. So can anybody read that? Maybe some businessmen can read.
I can read it.
Yes.
Mr. Covey changed one system, the compensation system, and the problem was corrected overnight. They set up a system whereby the managers only made money when their salespeople made money. They overlap the needs and goals of the managers with the needs and goals of the salespeople. And the need of human relations training suddenly disappear. This was developing a true win-win reward system. So often the problem is in the system, not in the people. If you put good people in bad system, you get bad results.
I found it terrific that the problem was solved overnight. And I found that whereby the managers only make money when their salespeople make money. So I hope if someone will find this helpful, because I just recently read that they paid, some organizations paid $500,000 just for 1 day to Mr. Kobe to come and fix their situation. It's exactly what he was doing. He was fixing the situation overnight. So win-win again is not a personality technique, it's a total paradigm of human interactions. And we talk already, but I really want to point on it. So number 4, we went through foundation, essence, and the skeleton, right, of 3 dimensions. Now we are at supportive system. And I would ask to read somebody else as well. Please.
I'll read it.
Yes, please. Thank you.
It says win-win can only survive in an organization where the systems support it. If you talk win-win, but reward win-lose, you've got a losing program on your hands. You basically get what you reward. If you want to achieve the goals and reflect the values in your mission statement, then you need to align the reward system with these goals and values. If it isn't aligned systematically, you won't be walking your talk. You'll be in the situation of the manager Mr. Covey mentioned earlier, who talked cooperation but practiced competition by creating a race to Bermuda contest. Competition has its place in the marketplace or against last year's performance, perhaps even against another office or individual where there is no particular interdependence, no need to cooperate. For win-win to work, the systems have to support it. The training system, the planning system, the communication system, the budgeting system, the information system, the compensation system, all have to be based on the principle of win-win.
Thank you, Richard. I think it's terrific. Yes, Brian.
I would also add that there's also the I mean, I guess we sort of do this a little bit more now, but sort of the idea that competition can sort of be, you know, sort of make things better for everyone. So it's, I mean, even if there is some competition involved in selling or whatever, it doesn't have to be that's necessarily a bad thing per se. I mean, it can help the whole situation overall if there is competition too.
I see what you mean, and if it doesn't based on the principle, I win and somebody have to lose. That your agent would correct. So we need to create a real cooperation place, not the competition that if I win, somebody should lose. And if it's not the place that I would agree with you. Yes, Richard.
Yeah, the third sentence is interesting to me, that how it gives value to competition in areas where there is no interdependence or need to cooperate between two groups. Then they're free to compete against each other. When there's a need to cooperate, then the competition might have a negative overall result.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Okay, and guys, we are at the last dimension. It's processes, which you see here. And again, to know if somebody can you read? It's so nice to hear your voice without like any like my accent. So please go ahead. Thank you.
You need someone to read it?
Yes, if anybody wants to read, please.
I'll read it. See the
Thank
problem
you.
from the other point of view. Really seek to understand and give expression to the needs and concerns of the other party as well as or better than they can themselves. 2, identify the key issues and concerns, not positions involved. Determine what results would constitute a full acceptable solution. 4, identify possible new options to achieve those results. You can only achieve win-win solutions with the win-win process. The end of the means are the same win-win or not personality technique. It's a total paradigm of human interaction. It comes from a character of integrity, maturity, and abundant mentality, excuse me.
Mhm.
It grows out of high trust relationships. It is embodied in agreements that effectively clarify and manage expectations as well as accomplishments. It thrives in supportive systems and is achieved through the process we are now prepared to more fully examine in habits 5 and 6.
Thank you, Sean. So what is Mr. Covey saying? That you can achieve win-win solution with win-win process. So this is what Sean was reading. Only we can achieve win-win solution with win-win processes. And I wanted, I understand it's difficult to remember that. I actually wanted to skip it, but why I put it and even ask you to read, because I use that in my situation. I use that and I think, how can I skip it if I use it by myself? If I will put on our message board. And guys, we are in perfect time that we are done. We finished habit number 4. Yes, congratulations. And let me share with you my journey. And I hope you will have a little bit fun with that, because while she looks funny, it's exactly how I looked. I'm absolutely serious, and this is not a coincidence because I was preparing. Mr. Covey prepared. Why I don't need to prepare? I did it. And I actually remembered him when he said that he was preparing for some right-handed man, so what very strong man, and he was writing what he wants. So I will share with you what I wrote. And he actually was feeling trembling. And you know exactly what I felt. So okay, let's move. So this is not really important. I don't want to read it, but you know, while I will talk, just to brief comments that you would understand what is that about. This is my group, and we are studying 7 habits. So this is really related problem, right? This is like really inside of 7 habits. Can you imagine? This is the translation word by word. So an organizer on the message board post some quote or thoughts of Sergei Kurdyumov. He's actually very famous in Russia. He has school, international school, and he's so he's actually her spiritual teacher. It can be read. Compromise is the worst for you can think. Wow, compromise is bound to end in destruction. Really? We can promise or lie, and compromise just means that every man remains in his opinion. No one tries to understand each other. Really? But if compromise is the ultimate accurate conflict, it's the most criminal and dangerous machine that will eventually snap and get out of your way. I was sitting and I couldn't understand what it did. And to explain to you, please don't buy it. Because compromise is we know how important compromise. This is going right away after 6, the top win-win. It's going win-win, then it's going compromise right away. And if win-win, win-win, 1 + 1, compromise is going 1.5. So this is how high compromise. So I read it and I think, oh my God, what I need to, I wanted to explode right away, but I decided to be nice and this like set up a conversation. I'm saying, okay, what's the proposal for that? And Polina, it's the organizer session, listen to 7 habits and come to discussions. So I missed one discussion. I think, no, the message board actually it's already was wrong, right? Because can you imagine you post something on our message board and I'm saying, okay, read habit number 2, you read page 275. No, we are to discuss, right? So then I post and I try to explain everything what I explained to you. She's again saying that in her lecture it was deeper. So it's not a lecture of Mr. Covey, it's somebody else lecture, probably Sergei Kurdyumov. So it's deeper. How it can be deeper? So I'm saying with all respect, I cannot be agree with him and explaining. So and then it's completely went wrong. So that's it's enough. And what was happening next? And so we finished. I didn't put my opinion. And this was me when I was read it. I was really, really confused and annoyed. And I was angry because I was sending 3 times to read somebody else and nobody was listening to me. And even she said that I had a hasty decision, hasty opinion. Oh, wow. And then I couldn't know. I know that girl, you know, I know that for 1 year. So how did it happen? I couldn't believe. And then guys say, I have Mr. Covey. And it's exactly, can you imagine the beautiful time when we are studying win-win and I need to do a win-win situation. And I started to type. This is what I typed. So I typed, first I need to listen to her and understand her completely. Then I ask you exactly, because not every person can say exactly. They can talk and talk and talk and just say emotionally. So I need exactly ask what she didn't like in my answer, why she was upset, to understand. And then only I can tell my concerns and my point. And I also need to know what result I expect. What if she will pretend nothing happened? Oh, Lena, everything is perfect. Why she is say no, it was not that. So I need to be ready for that. And then I wanted to establish, so what my goal? Because don't know, sometimes she, yes, it's fine. Oh, no, okay, that's fine. No, what I need win-win situation. And the next step, the last step, I wanted to create synergy. So, and the guys, I actually was worried. And they do know, so, and I was thinking, it took for me 3 days. And I was thinking, and then I was even tired. I think, why do I do that? It's already gone. What is the American culture? Just keep silence, right? Like pretend like nothing happened. And then I remember, Mr. Covey said that pretend like nothing happened is easy than confront. I'm going for win-win situation. I will do it. And then I got angry. Why? She was actually rude to me. I was very polite. I didn't say anything. So I got angry. And then, no, but I need it my 3rd day. No, I need that win-win situation. And finally, no, I don't do that. Then finally, on the 3rd day, I decided that, and I called her. Before I called her before, and I said, can we talk? And she said up, yes, we can talk tomorrow. And she didn't call me. I called her again, but whatever. So the situation, the conversation was like this. Polina, I think that it was some tension in our conversation. So let me be shorter and do not tell all our conversation. So she denied. She said, everything is wonderful. We talk our opinion. And the other girl was, it was so a grateful conversation. I thought, are you sure? I didn't say anything that like offend you. And she said, no, fantastic. She said, I even took my notebook and I wrote something from your response. But no, she actually didn't do that. She wrote that I did a hasty decision and we need to follow the teachers. So then I decided go ahead, and I said, okay, Marine, Pauline, but I think that I said that it's not appropriate for the message board to send 3 times to read the book. You need to actually, as an organizer, it's nice. We are talking our opinions. Then she thought, oh, yes, yeah, I'm sorry. Then I talk about hasty decision. I think it's not really appropriate to say hasty decision, and we don't need to follow all teachers. He's not my teacher. And finally, she started to talk. So the final talk that because it's her teacher, and I said that I disagree with his opinion, she was deeply offended. So guys, what does it mean? It's already some part of fanatism, because I'm sorry, but that when wrote that compromise is the most criminal and dangerous machine. I can tell you, I never read anything more worse than this. So the question, what do you think, from which paradigm this man come? And I ask you to remember, do you remember? Which we have 6 paradigms: win-win, win-lose, lose-win, lose-lose, win. Which paradigm he came from? I'll help, because I gave a thought to that. I was thinking 3 days. I got you on a spot. So this is from a lose-win situation. Do you remember those people? Everything is good, take you away, but they keep inside of themselves a lot of resentment and a lot of sorrow, and then they snap on a most inappropriate moment. And this what was happened. It's a man who wanted to please probably his children or his wife, and he kept a lot of resentment, a lot of sorrow in his, his message were completely distracting. It was a distraction because it's completely wrong. Yes, Brian.
I was gonna say, you know, depending on the situation, okay, I wouldn't completely disagree with what this Sergey is saying, and I think it depends on what you exactly mean by compromise, because and I don't even necessarily think this would disagree with what Covey would talk about either, because I think in a way, for instance, if you think about like the win-win or you know, no deal or whatever, so two sides, you know, could have very strong opinions on something, and maybe you know, the idea, you know, you could talk about compromise. Well, maybe maybe both sides end up giving up stuff, but then in the end what you end up with isn't anything you really want anyhow. So I mean, it's like in that case you just walk away from it because you say, okay, we can't agree on anything. So what I was trying to get at, I guess what I'm trying to get at, and is sort of going on about it, is that I could sort of see the point in a case where it's like compromise ends up being that it's not what you wanted. So if you mean compromise by giving up what you wanted, or what you wanted, if you can't come to a mutually beneficial agreement, then, you know, then the compromise is out. So I can at least see situations where compromise wouldn't work at all, you know, where you just have to say, walk away from it.
Okay, I see what you mean. Thank you for your comment. So what I see, according to your comment and according what Sergei Kurdyumov is saying, first, what Sergei Kurdyumov saying, it's a huge exaggeration. I cannot agree that it's the most criminal and dangerous machine ever. According to what Brian is saying, we need to understand what is compromise. Compromise, it's listening to each other, understand each other, and create a new solution. What you are saying, it's yielding. It's not compromise. So we need to, and it's also depend on which level. For example, if two people on an independent level and they're blaming each other, they will have a compromise on dependent level, and it will be horrible. Yes, but if people on a passion level, like independent level, next level, they already will think, what is good for me? Because I am independent, I think about myself, and the compromise will be already softer. But if people are on the highest level, in interdependent level, their compromise will be different. So we cannot right now take people on dependent level, their level of compromise, and compare to compromise of the people in interdependent level. So while we are working on ourselves, and our compromise is getting better.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Richard, please.
Yes, I can see what Brian is getting at. Compromise is it can be a dirty word if you have to give up things in order to come to an agreement. Because yes, you can hold on to some resentment for having had to give up something. Although I think at this point we could do with a redefinition of compromise, because that's how many of us see the word compromise, is just that way, giving up something. And can we now redefine compromise in a way that is more like change your paradigm to come to a solution? But then again, that also sounds like a win-win to me. That's my
Beautiful,
comment.
Richard. Beautiful. Yeah, we are growing and our compromises will be better. Yes, Patrick.
Yeah, I'm not going to compromise on that. So I'm going to try something different here. So I mean, the idea of compromise is it's not losing something, it's gaining less than what you expected.
Exactly.
Right?
Wow,
So it's
beautifully
not a
said.
lose. You're
Yes.
not giving up anything. You're just, it's like, you know, like Lena said before, right? Instead of 1-1, it's 1.5, maybe 1.25, right?
Yeah.
So it's still a positive deviance. I think that's the difference. I think it's, you know, a lot of people are like, it's either I get everything or I compromise and losing something, or I have no deal if I'm losing something, which is rational, right? But however, if we're relationship centric or principle centric,
Mhm.
I think the key is basically to truly understand, like, okay, what can I give the other person that there'll be a 1+, and what are they willing to give me that I have a 1+, even though it's
Exactly.
not complete, but it's still a 1+.
Beautiful. Beautiful, Patrick. Thank you so much. Very, very nice clarifications. So, and when we, so this is me, when we finished, and when I pull, actually I pull from her everything, and she said maybe 10 times, I'm sorry, I need to work on myself. I told him, don't worry, I need to work on myself too. So we were absolutely happy, and so we put phone down, and I was surprised when she sent me thank you note, because to me it was done. Like completely done. I actually didn't plan to say her thank you, and probably rude from my side. But we said thank you probably 10 times via conversation. That's enough. But she said me thank you, and it's not yet. In a couple of minutes, she sent me a voicemail message, and she again said me thank you. And I was happy, guys. I was really happy. It's not yet. What she sent to me. And she sent me this. Guys, can you imagine how happy I was? I really did a win-win situation. And I want to come back to the end. Do remember I wanted to create synergy after that, but and she was refused, and I didn't understand why after this beautiful conversation, after this emoji, but they just didn't know how to do that. So guys, this is my experience of win-win, from lose-lose to win-win situation. If I wouldn't do that, I would think, she's not a good girl. But now we are friends, and she is thankful to me, and I am thankful to her. So this is really, really working. So guys, sorry, I did 10 minutes later, but I was needed to finish it. And thank you for your comments. This is, again, practical homework. I remember Jan said that he is working on it. I hope that, Jan, if you are here, let us know if you will be able to, yes, you're here, if you will be able to present us next week. And guys, think about it and try it, even do not just for practice. If, for example, you have upcoming interaction, it's great. What I had accidentally, but do you know, then I approach it, because we had the interaction, but she didn't approach me, and everything would, go to south. I approached to her, and I fixed the situation. So maybe you can remember about something, somebody with whom you don't have a good communication, and you can improve it. With that list, so what the most important, first just call and just ask him and her that and listen and try to understand. Don't interrupt and they ask as many questions as possible because we don't. I personally never do it. Okay, let's do honest. I want to put my opinion right away. I want to say what I'm thinking about that person, or how I'm feeling, I'm offended, or I'm angry, or whatever. So let that person talk. Then clarify exactly, because if we won't clarify what was the problem, we will go to south again. So clarify and yes, this, okay, understand. And then can I say mine? And then just again work your character and do not be angry, be happy, not happy, I just be attentive. And win in your head, don't know, you will feel like you're a captain. It's actually feeling great. You are leading the conversation. So thank you so much. What any comments, any suggestions, or what you are taking from our meeting today? Just a couple of minutes. I love to listen to you. Yes, Patrick.
Well, from an action-oriented perspective, I think, and as I'm listening to your presentation, I'm thinking about from the character side, if you're continuously and consistently be a depositor into the emotional bank account, right? I mean, I think that it'll be easy to jump to the relationship. You're
Yes.
building that bridge. However, it's also a risk, right? Because you could deposit, right? When the other person lack that character that, like you said, have a win-lose situation, like, hey, I'm gonna take advantage, I'm gonna take this guy to the cleaners, right? That is the risk that you have to, that's the risk that you have to be willing to take emotionally as well as, materially. So, I mean, what do you think about that?
Great point. So you actually can don't stop and you can continue to deposit into emotional bank account. However, you have to keep your standards. You have to keep your principles. That's it. So let's do this. You're putting, the other do not put. But you don't need to go and ask him or indulge him or do something, let me do for you something. No, you put, because you have your standards and because you are example. So be, how Mr. Covey said, be example, not a judge. Don't judge what the other person is doing, but don't allow him to cross your boundaries. If they will say, okay, did you put a deposit? I will put when I want, when I consider its needs. Done. Oh, would you like to do it for me? You're so kind. You're putting. No, this is not in my standards. This is, I think this is inappropriate. Sorry, I love you. I do for you, but this is inappropriate. Or if a person become rude to you because you didn't do something. No, please don't talk to me this way. I think it's not appropriate. That's it. And finally, maybe duration. Maybe we'll past a couple of years. But finally, that person will understand. Of course, I'm talking about close one. I don't talk about strangers, right, or your neighbor. Yes, Richard. Oh, Brian, sorry.
Okay,
I think you were
first.
the first. Yes. I don't see your hand there because it's under yellow and the hand is yellow.
I'll have to
And
change the color.
I didn't see, yes.
I'll have to change the color then. I was gonna say, that yet to be, I hear a little bit, what you're talking about in terms of deposit, putting deposits, in the emotional bank account, and I begin to get this idea that maybe people are thinking of that as like a bank account, where you're depositing money into it. It's like if you have a joint bank account, right? And you deposit money into it, then the money, or your wife say deposits money into it, then everybody knows there's money going into it. But the difference is with the emotional bank account is, of course, and sorry if this is a little facetious, but is that you may think you're putting something in, but if the other person doesn't agree with or doesn't see it as a deposit, as it were, even if you're doing it all the time, you could very well be, you know, causing a withdrawal or whatever, you know, in the other person's mind. It's not necessarily.
Don't worry, Brian. If you are doing the right things which align with God, you cannot be wrong. You cannot be wrong. And what aligns with God is your courtesy, is your kindness, is your truthfulness, is your integrity. You cannot be wrong with that. But please keep your standards, keep your principles. This is the key. Yes, Richard.
All of us here are fairly, I'd say, intuitive people, rational people, and we understand many of these things. I think most of us are working towards our level of maturity, whatever that may be, and want to reach the interdependent level. But we deal with people that are still dependent, and they don't always know that they're dependent. And so when we think about relationships, and dealing with people and trying to create win-win situations, we're mostly thinking of people that may also be independent or interdependent. But in the case where we have to deal with somebody who's completely dependent in their nature, and we're trying to achieve a win-win situation, is that even ever going to work? Once they've never even tried to come to any agreement other than their own, because of many other factors.
They will respect you. With those people, if we will again keep your standards and they keep your boundaries and continue to be that good, they might won't answer to you the same, but they will respect you. Because it doesn't mean that if a person in a dependent level that he or she is completely blind and they sitting on the tree and don't understand anything. No, they are, those people are in our society, and they will behave with me in one way. For example, my husband keep the principles, I don't keep. And that dependent person or dependent child, he will behave to me differently than that dependent child will behave differently to my husband. So he will be, that child will behave respectfully with the person who is with my husband, who is keeping principles. But with me, the child will behave differently. And she or he will do whatever they want with me. Because I'm soft. What does mean keep principles? It's be strong, not rude, strong. And they knock, Daddy, give me this. No, sweetheart, I cannot. Mommy, Dad, give me this. Take, my dear. Mommy, I want to walk. Go and walk, my dear. Daddy, I want to walk. No, sweetheart, I love you, but you can't because you didn't do that. And next time, she or he won't do that. Or they will know that whatever they will ask daddy will say no if they didn't earn that. And they exactly, on any level, people understand where's the right and where's wrong. If they are asking something, they understand. If they are wrong, they understand it. They are not that smart. Okay, guys, I guess we need to finish. Everybody said, Igor, I see you are the second time with us. Sorry, I didn't see that you are with us and didn't ask, didn't say hello to you. I didn't see it. So I hope you enjoyed our conversation. Please, John, yes, yes, John. Igor, please, if you would like to join our WhatsApp, because they are all our presentations. You don't need to participate if you don't want, but the guys will tell you. Not tell you, I will make you excited about our participations. But you will see our presentations and homeworks and all that stuff. So thank you so much. I tremendously enjoyed our conversation, and please try to come up with some situation and just practice, please. And next time, let's share. Just call somebody and do it. It's fantastic. I tell you, I have that experience. I promise you will enjoy. Thank you so much, and see you next week at 4. Bye-bye.